Good evening. Yes, it's June the 30th, the end of the month, and another monthly butthole for you. And it's raving hot today. It's probably the hottest day of the year, so a little bit of liquid refreshment before I start. Yeah, so it's been another pretty heavy month of bot buying. Yes, quite a few bots this month. A lot of what have we got? Let's have a look. Some couple of retail bots, some eBay items, a couple of things from Big Bad Toy Store on Kapow, something from Amazon Japan, the NEC Toy Fair, and the Entertainer. So pretty wide and varied selection of bots to show you today. So let's get cracking. I kicked this month off bright and early on Monday the 1st of June with, well actually I went up Sainsbury's after I come home from work and I found this guy. RID One Step Steeljaw. Now, again, I've got a thing for one-steppers, and this guy is quite neat. He's got a really cool transformation. There we go. A bit loose when he's in his truck mode. You just pull the front all the way back until it clicks, and there you go. The top of his vehicle becomes his tail, but I've added some extra paint apps to sort of paint out the extra bits of the roof to highlight his tail. I've also painted the inside of his arms matte black as well to give him a few extra paint details. So yeah, he's quite good. I've now got 3 versions of Steeljaw, but I haven't got the Warrior toy or the Free Stepper. So yeah, I quite like Steeljaw. So he's the first bot that I got. Then when I got home, I had a nice little package from Big Bad Toy Store waiting for me, and in it was, where are we? This guy. Now this is the Takara. This is RID, well, Adventure Nemesis Prime, or was it TAV 13? Now I'd seen the normal, the Hasbro version of Optimus Prime from RID, but I wasn't very taken with it. But when I saw pictures of this guy, I just had to get one. I was like, I want that one. And yeah, I'm all over the black and the teal and the red. It just really makes this guy pop. He looks amazing. He's got a bright red, fluorescent red axe. I've done the mod on the truck parts so that they actually swing round. So I've took the screw out and shaved the plastic down on the inside, so now he can expose his fists. So there's a little mod I did to him. He's a great little figure, loving him. It's one of those ones where, you know, a different paint job makes all the difference. And then in the same package from Big Bad Toy Store, One Step Fracture. I have actually done a review on this guy. I wanted to review him when I first got him because, you know, again, not many people had reviewed this toy then, so I had a go. Very simple transformation. Pull this thing down, and then he all folds up into this Cybertronian chopper bike, which is pretty cool. I like him. He was in the same wave as Thunderhoof, but unfortunately Thunderhoof was out of stock on Big Bad Toy Store, so I would have bought him. I wanted him, but I had to get this guy as a booby prize. But I'm quite happy with him, but I am definitely after Thunderhoof as and when he appears in the shops in the UK, which should be soon, if he isn't out already. Right, and moving on. Same day, Monday the 1st of June, I received this guy. Armada Minicon Sparkplug for Optimus Prime's Minicon. I've come to the conclusion now, if I've got an Armada figure without its Minicon, that just will never do. I've got to get the Minicon to go with the Armada character, and Optimus Prime was the first Armada character that I picked up. I picked him up from a card boot sale about this time last year, and didn't have his. He's missing a few bits, including his Minicon. So I decided to have a quick look on eBay. Found this guy, and this wheel here was all rusted up, and it was seized. So I had to pop the pin out, clean it up, put it back in, so his wheel now turns again. But yeah, he's a dude, you know, nice yellow little car dude. Quite like him. Right, moving on about a week forward. Sunday the 7th of June, got back from Bury. Well, actually no, I was up at Bury, and I went to the Ramsbottom car boot sale, which I do sometimes now when I'm up at Bury. And I was just having a look around. The Ramsbottom Lee, the guy who keeps claiming he's got a big box of Transformers he wants to sell to me, wasn't there this time. But I was looking around, and then I found this this little white Autobot jet just sitting there. This little white jet. Now it's got Autobot insignias on the wings, so I picked it up and had a look at it. Really great build quality, nice tight joints, and a bit tight. And there we go, old monoleg. And this apparently is a Cybertron Micromaster Silverbolt, and he's pretty funky. I quite like him. He was only, I don't know, was it 50 pence? And it was the only thing I saw at the Ramsbottom car boot sale, so he was worth a punt as far as I was concerned. And he doesn't stand up. And when I got home, there was a package from... well, there was two packages. There was a package from Kapow Toys, and there was a package from eBay. First package, Toyworld TW T04 Highway, aka Expressway. I'm really digging this guy. He's a great little figure. I'm liking him a whole lot. Slightly tricky transformation, not as bad as Tracy's transformation. His transformation, especially on the torso, is a bit fiddly. But this guy has got a similar transformation, but it makes a lot more sense. Yes, the bonnet keeps getting unstuck from, the front of the car, and the wing mirrors fall out. But apart from that, I absolutely love this guy. He's got great articulation, brilliant light piping, and yet another member of my Toyworld Throttlebots. And the other thing that was waiting for me when I got home, Power Battler's Galvatron. Yeah, I've been after this guy for a while, because I've got this mainly because this is another one of those YouTuber made me do it moments. Red 5 bought one of these last year and liked him so much he put him on his TF14 of 2014 list. I think at about either number 4 or number 3, so it's pretty high up his list. And I can see why, because for a power battler he's got pretty damn good articulation. He's got virtually nearly fully articulated arms. He's got working knees, even though the knee joint is like halfway down his leg. He can do the splits, and he's got a pretty funky gimmick. There you go. Absolutely oodles and oodles of moulding detail on this guy. Not all of it painted, but yeah, I'm loving it, and he forms a pretty neat little truck. So what's not to like? I quite like my power battlers. So that was that day, and then moving on a week, we got Sunday the 14th of June. Went out car booting again, and went to CJ's car boot at the Leamington Rugby Club, and got well, fairly lucky. First of all, I found G1 Protectobot's First Aid. He's complete, nice tight joints, transforms perfectly. His decals, as you can see, are completely worn out, so he needs some repro labels. I'm sure you can get some for him, but apart from that, he's virtually perfect. And he was 20 pence, so I was quite happy with that. And I walked around some more, and I found this. Now this is the Deluxe Bumblebee from the original movie, the 2007 Transformers the movie, and this is the, I believe it's a Target exclusive, battle damaged concept Camaro Bumblebee. It was in its car mode, horrendous panel former. Yeah, it's got so many panel joints in this thing and it barely holds together. Why do I keep buying Bumblebees? I don't really want to buy Bumblebees, but something inside me is telling me I want as many different versions of the Bumblebee mould as I can get, or at least within reason. And I've got, quite a few movie ones, various scales. So if I see a decent looking Bumblebee that I haven't already got, I might be tempted to pick him up, especially if it's at a car boot sale and pickings have been slim. I might go for him, and that was the case here. I managed to pick this guy up. He's alright, he's not great. I can think of other figures I'd much rather have than this one, but 20 pence. Can't grumble at that. And then, the coup de grace. Walked round some more. I was on the last row of sellers before the end of the car boot sale, and looking on a stand with some guy just got a load of assorted junk and a few toys, and then at the back of his stall, stood up, was a boxed Universe figure. Special edition, deluxe class, Dragstrip. And he came complete with his box. Box and instructions, £5. Wow. I've already got a version of this mould. I've already got the, obviously the Classics Mirage. So I was a bit and ahhing as to whether to pick this up. But then I thought, it's a special edition, it's like a limited edition figure, and it's in its box, and it's £5. You can't go far wrong at that. Yeah, it's got some loose joints, because obviously the Classics Mirage mould has been done to death, and a lot of the later repaints suffer from wibbly joints as a result. But he's alright, he's good, and now that I've got Dragstrip in both Classics and Dragstrip in Classics mould and Combiner Wars mode, I want to do the same with Mirage. So there's a Combiner Wars Mirage coming out, and I want to buy that so I can put him alongside my Classics Mirage, and then I'll have both sets of moulds for both characters, which would be quite interesting, even though I don't really want to go in for repaints, but just a little something I'm working towards. Right, and then the next day I bought some bots was Friday the 19th of June, when my Amazon order arrived. And it's Takara Galvatron. Now this isn't the Hasbro one, this is the Takara one. Hence the extra paint apps on the chest and the face. Only £30 with free shipping off Amazon. There are some gems on Amazon. You've just got to persevere and search through the reams and reams and pages of Transformer toys, and you will find the odd one or two items that will pop out the page at you, and you'll think, actually, that's not a bad price. And this was it. I've been after one of these for a while, but I didn't want the Hasbro version because it's just a sea of grey plastic. But this one's got a few more paint apps on it. It's a little bit more interesting to look at, and that's why I went for him, and I got him for a really decent price from an unexpected source. And I didn't actually unbox this guy straight away because I knew I would be a participant in the Six Shot Changers Transformers and Stuff podcast, which happened last Monday evening, very late. And so I saved the unboxing for that. So if you go over to Six Shot's channel and watch his video, you'll see me actually unboxing this fella. But there you go. That's it. So we're halfway through now. That's halfway point on this particular collection of bots. So I think I'll have another drink. Right, moving on to the second half of this particular selection of bots. So, next it was Sunday the 21st of June and the NEC Toy Fair. Now it fell on a Bury working weekend, so what I had to do was I took the Friday off, side shifted my working weekend to the Friday Saturday instead of the Saturday Sunday, so then I came back home Saturday night and then I was able to go to the NEC on the Sunday. This particular NEC Toy Fair, this is the third one I've been to since I started collecting Transformers. The third one I've been to where I've actually been buying Transformers, and it was absolutely amazing. This one, there was more Transformers at this Toy Fair than had been at all the previous ones I'd been to. There was 2 stalls that were selling Transformers, 2 stalls that were selling nothing but Transformers. There was another guy who had a large selection of G1 stuff, including a load of G1 combiners like the rare ones like King Poseidon and Abominus. He had them there, but he was asking pretty silly collector's prices for them. I was looking at a rather ropey looking loose G1 Power Master, and he wanted, I think, 45 quid for it, and I thought, nah, maybe not, I might come back if I haven't got any. But I didn't go back to him, because I found another chap who was selling Transformers, and apparently he was a collector who was selling his collection, and the stuff he had stuff on his stall that I just had to go for it, and the first thing I saw, Tidal Wave! Yes, Tidal Wave! And this is the Energon one, because this is the Energon repaint. 18 quid I give for this, and it's complete. It came with the missiles, which unfortunately don't stow in his robot mode anywhere, because they actually go into these things, but when you bring his shoulders in, the missiles fire out, which is a bit stupid. But he's great. Lots of ratchetry going on. Obviously he's slightly limited in his articulation. He has got hips that go that way and that way, but he does the old sideways knee action, but they don't go backwards and forwards. Yeah, 18 quid. I was all over this. I want that one. I had to have it. And when I got home, I found out he comes with a Brucey bonus. He comes with his Minicon partner. Ramjet. So that's an extra Transformer. Came stowed away in his little compartment. So yeah, 2 for the price of 1. Well happy with that. Yeah, he's a monster. Now, there was another bot on this guy's table that I saw and I thought, I've got to have that one. But I didn't buy it straight away. I carried on round because he told me the price of it and I thought, that's a bit steep. But I carried on round and I actually saw another one of these on another stall, and the one I saw on the other stall was the Galaxy Force version, but it wasn't complete. It was missing a few bits, but it was 25 quid. Now I could have bought that one, but I didn't. I went back to the stall and I bought the £40 one off the other guy's stall. And this one was complete. Cybertron, Leader Class, Megatron. Now, I like Cybertron. Cybertron's one of my favourite, Transformer cartoon series next to Beast Wars. And the Cybertron toys are, well, they're amazing. They're really well made, pretty articulate, good paint apps. They got a lot going for them. Solidly built, full of ratchets. Most of them have light piping and stuff. And of course the Cyber Key gimmick. But I wanted to get, quite a few figures from this line, and Megatron and Optimus are right up there. I did see this guy at one of the earlier toy fairs, but I never actually inquired about him. And I did see a Cybertron Optimus Prime, which I sort of picked up and had a quick look at, but I didn't actually ask what the price was, and I passed on it, which I shouldn't have done, because I wasn't sure it was complete. But this guy is complete. He came with all his weapons and his missiles. 40 quid was a bit steep, but like I said, because he's complete and he's in such good condition, I had to go for it. And he was the biggest bot that I bought at the NEC, and most, most of my money went into this guy. But I'm really happy with him. And then carrying on, this guy had a couple of plastic crates full of bots in plastic bags, and they had one box labelled £7, one £10 and another one £15, so I had a quick rummage through the bots. And the next bot I pulled out was this one. Marvel Crossovers Hulk. Now, I've seen reviews on this from various people, and it's quite an interesting looking bot. And I think from the Marvel Crossovers line, this is one of the better ones. Very popular with customizers, because people like to use his legs mostly for other bots. But yeah, this one I've got a bit of an issue with the panels on his arms, not pegging him properly. But he's all right. He's got a kind of a spring-loaded sort of punching action going on here. But there you go. Crossovers Hulk, and he was 10 quid. In the same box, the 10 quid box, I had another rummage around and picked up this guy. Cybertron Snarl. Again, another Cybertron bot. I like my Cybertron. This guy is one of the better characters from the show. When they go to Beast Planet, he's there and he sides with the Autobots. Again, against Scourge and Megatron. He's pretty cool. Now, if Silverbolt, Beast Wars Silverbolt, didn't have a bird mode and he had a wolf mode, then it probably looks something, just a wolf mode, it probably looks something like this, because it's got a kind of similar head sculpt to Silverbolt. I don't know whether that was intentional. So if you paint him silver, you've got like a Silverbolt wolf mode. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He's got a slightly unusual transformation, but not difficult to do. Fairly solid bot. And then, in the same box, Beast Wars, Transmetals, Cheetor. Again, Beast Wars, absolutely love the show, and I'm picking up a few of the figures. Mostly the Transmetal ones, because the original, the ones from the first series, some of the toys are a bit meh. But they got their act together with the later lines, the Transmetals and the Fusors. So yeah. This one's alright, I quite like this one. Lots of nice little chromey bits on to signify that it's a transmetal. Like instead of it trying to mimic a real animal, it's mimicking a sort of like a cybernetic animal. And that was the whole part of the line. So yeah, liking him. Then I went into the next box up, which was the £15 box. Had a rummage around and I pulled out two figures. One, Classics Dirge. Now, I have got another Classic Seeker. I've got Acid Storm. But Dirge, there's something about Dirge that I kind of like his colours. I like the sort of like the bright blue and this sort of tanny orange. It really works for me, the colour palette on this guy, and that's kind of why I wanted to get him. Now, there was two bots in this box that I wanted to buy. There was this guy, and the other one was Hunt for Decepticons Sea Spray. And I was umming and ahhing which one to get, and then the guy says, "Wow, he said you could pick Hunt for Decepticons Sea Spray up everywhere, but Classics Dirge is quite rare." So I went for Classics Dirge. He's all right. He's great. We like him. He's cool. And then when I was walking around the toy fair in the first instance, I did, on my original pass, right at the far corner of the hall, there was some guy who had a stall with a variety of toys on it, mostly really vintage stuff. But he did have this one little thing on the front which I couldn't quite make out. It was some sort of plane transform that I'd not seen before. The guy wasn't at the stall because I went in during the early bird session where everybody was setting up and the guy was away from his stand. So put it back down, walked away. After I'd finished buying all them other bots from that guy on the main stall, I had about £2.50 left. So I thought, I know, I'll go back to that other stall where I saw that other little bot thing and see if I can get the guy to sell it me for £2.50. So I got there, he still wasn't there. I had to wait a couple of minutes for him to come back. He came back and I says, excuse me, how much for this? And I handed it up to him and he was looking at it. He says, what is it? I says, oh, it's a Gobot. And I said to him, I says, well, I've only got £2. Were you willing to sell it for £2? And then I said, well, actually, I can go to £2.50. And he went, yeah, all right. So I got him. Now, in his bot mode, he doesn't look like much. He looks fairly plain. But when you turn him into his plane mode, you get this. Now, I've never seen anything like it. I couldn't make my mind up. Is it a glider? Because it's got like these very long, thin, straight wings. But it has got some little jet engines at the back. And then he's got these pontoons underneath. So he's kind of like a jet-powered float plane, which is really, really unusual. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like this. It's such an unusual looking plane, and it just as an oddity, it tickled my fancy, and I managed to get it out of the guy for £2.50, and I'm really pleased with it, and it's really cool. Looked him up when I got back, and it turns out it's Gobot's Water Walker, and he's apparently one of the bad guys. How can a bad guy be a float plane? I mean, but still, he's a great little figure. I love him. He's amazing. So yeah, that was the NEC Toy Fair, and just another couple of things that arrived during the last week or so. First of which was a cheap purchase off eBay. Fansproject Smart Robin. Oh yeah. Managed to get this guy for, was it 42 quid off eBay with postage? Very, very cheap price. I was really lucky to get him for that price. And he's amazing. I've been after this guy for a while, and he was sort of like a minor grail of the bots that I wanted to get. And this guy ticks a few boxes as far as I'm concerned. One, the colours. The sort of the bone grey and the teal. Mwah, yeah. Colours do it for me. Then he's got the aesthetic. I quite like the Fansproject aesthetic on these guys. The sort of like the hard angles and stuff. It really works. I really like the aesthetic they were going for. And then finally the transformation. This guy has got an amazing transformation. He's got a couple of really neat little tricks when you transform him. It's like the wings for his jet mode are folded up in the back of his legs. I mean, the arms just fold up to become the jet engine. That's neither here nor there. But the way the legs transform and the way the cockpit collapses down to form the chest of the robot and then opens out to form, because you can see it's solid there. But that all opens out, so the little headmaster dude there can actually sit in the cockpit in jet mode. It's really amazing. It's fantastic. A little bit on the small side. You'd expect it to be a full-size Voyager, but it's actually like rather like a large Deluxe than a Voyager figure. But I love it. I love it. It's amazing, and I like even more the fact that I got it for a really discount price. So yeah, really happy with that. Right, now we're getting on to the serious stuff. Yeah. Seen the review on this. Toyworld TWDO3 Grimshell. The third part of Toyworld's Dino Combiner. he's a big boy. In robot mode, he's almost as big as Masterpiece Grimlock, almost. A bit smaller in Dino mode. As you can see, lots and lots and lots of shiny chrome. He's quite something. And I really like the aesthetic on this guy. I mean, when I first saw the pictures of this guy in his coloured form rather than test shot colours, and I just fell in love with it. And I was getting it anyway because I was committed to buying the Toyworld Dino Combiner. I have got the two legs, so I did sort of mock up the Dino Combiner using the legs. It's got odd proportions. I mean, it basically reuses the torso off this and doesn't really make it any bigger. So you end up with these really long legs and a really tiny little body and a slightly bigger head. And it looks a bit off. It'll probably look better once we get the arms to go with it, but at the moment he's just going to sit around like this until I get the rest of the bits to complete the combiner. He's alright, I like him. He's really cool. And he is my most expensive bot to date, just over 100 quid, about £103, £103.49, because obviously I had to pay the postage off him because he was £99.99 from Kapow, and your order has to be over £100 to qualify for the free shipping. And then I combined the order with two pre-order deposits, and then they said, well, because you've combined your order with two deposits, you're going to have to wait until the other figures come out before you get your Grimshell. And I thought, no way, Jose. So I had to phone up Kapow Toys, pay an extra £3.50 in order to get them to send me this guy. But I'm only the second person in the world to review this, so it was worth it for that, I suppose, even though I didn't actually go into the transformation in the review, and I apologise for that because I'd only just got the toy and I was transforming it for the first time, and I had little or no experience with it, so I didn't want to waste people's time by messing around transforming it for any lengthy periods of time. So yeah, Toyworld's Grimshell. And then we just get on to the last bot. I went on my monthly toy hunt over Coventry, but I struck out. It was a bust. There was no bots I wanted to buy. There was nothing. I saw Warrior Steeljaw at Toys R Us, but I really don't want to buy that guy because he's got issues. And I ended up buying Skylanders figures instead. Skylanders. Oh well. Anyway, so on the following day, on the Saturday, I thought, well, I'm going to see if I can make amends for the lacklustre toy hunt over Coventry. So I went uptown and went into the Entertainer, and they had a few new RID Warrior figures in. So I picked up Sideswipe. Now this guy has been getting a major slating. Everybody who's reviewed him has just ripped him to bits because of the shoulders not pegging him properly. Now I've had a go with mine, and part of the problem is this shoulder joint is very tight, and when you try to move it, it unpegs these little peg things that peg into his chest plate. The pegs themselves aren't long enough, or the holes that they go into aren't long enough, one of the two. If they'd have made them slightly longer, it probably would have worked properly. But I've put blobs of super glue on top of the peg to try and build it up a little bit and round the hole, and it seems to work. You can see he's fairly solid, and you can see it's not glued into place. So yeah, he's got the paint. Paint's a bit wishy-washy on him. Some bits are nice and bright, and some bits are not. The transparent pieces had to be painted, and they don't match up with the bits that are coloured plastic. And he's got these collars, like a Harry Hill style massive collar going on around his neck, and that's part of the wings of his car mode, which swing round and peg into his back. That's a bit unusual. My main gripe is he hasn't got them ridge things on his arm. Legion class has got it. Why hasn't this version? Why couldn't they have done something where you fold the door up and fold the door in, the transparent piece of the door in half, and the little ridge things appear? They could have worked some more articulation into him, but he's alright, I suppose. He's quite good. I reckon he looks alright. I quite like Sideswipe from the RID show, so I had to get a version of him. So that's it. That's my haul for this month, and let's tot them all up. That was 22 bots and a whopping £419.28 spent. So yeah, as totals go, this is probably one of the heavier, bigger hitting months that I've had. Got a big selection of bots to show from. I mean, yeah, I've got some expensive bots here, obviously. Grimshell and Leader Megatron are the most expensive bots there, but yeah, it was alright. I'm going to have to start slowing down now. Couple of reasons. One, my car needs more repairs doing to it. And obviously we've only got less than 2 months now till auto assembly, and I want to see if I can start putting some money away. I have got a guaranteed pot of money to spend at auto assembly, but I'd like to top it up with a little bit extra. So over the next 2 months I probably won't be buying quite so many bots. I might just slow down now and start saving a bit of money. But for now, yeah, I'm quite happy with my haul for this month. I think I did quite well, don't you? Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.